Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to today's live stream. Today I'm going to attempt to work on more WordPress REST API example code. So last week I worked on using the WordPress REST API to access data, and this week I'm going to be working on interacting with the WordPress REST API. So I'm going to take the plugin that I have currently, which should generate a page in the dashboard. There it is. And should allow me to load post via REST, which it does. And I'm going to add a little form to this that's probably going to have like a title field, and I just realized my light is not on. So it's probably really dark. I have the best lighting to begin with, but at least it's better than nothing. So I'm going to put it at a form, and it's going to post some data, and then hopefully refresh this. And it's going to use the REST API. And I'm also planning on using Postman, which I haven't installed, so I probably should install that. I think I downloaded this last week. Yeah, there it is. So let's install that so long. Oh, okay. Probably got to drag this to my applications. Okay, fine. I'm not a fan of how Mac does that. There it is. So I'm going to keep Postman kind of handy in case I'm probably going to have to log in, and I probably can safely use my one password because it's just my email address and you can't see my password there, so it's all good. Yay for password authentication apps. You can live stream logging in without showing your password. Okay, so I did have some workspaces many moons ago. So I probably have some stuff here, which is great. I'm gonna delete some of these. Don't need any of these. Go. That one was going to my site. That one was going to one of my old domains. That was a staging API that I don't need anymore. And this one, oh, good. I've still got my WordPress test workspace. That's really cool. So let's see if that actually works. Request URL. Oh, okay. All right. So let's go WordPress.test wp json wpv2 posts. That should work. And let's send a GET request. And hey, it works. Awesome. So that saves me time. But I think what I'm going to do, I just want to check what headers are we passing in. I think it's just the default headers. Yeah, it looks like the default headers. Let's make a new request here. Add request. Let's call it something. The UI for Postman has changed, which is quite nice, I have to say. So get posts. Let's pop in the URL. Let's send. Okay, so that works by default, so that's cool. So let us delete this. And then I'm going to see if I need to come back to this to test the post request, which I might do anyway towards the end of this session. But it's cool that it's working. It looks nice. I don't think I need this. I can delete this. I don't think this domain even exists anymore. And this one is to my personal site, which is just, I don't even know what this is. So I'm going to delete that one as well. Okay. So let's minimize that. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is go straight to the documentation and read up about posting to the REST API. Using and extending will be responses, endpoints, content types. Okay. One thing I don't think they list, maybe they do. Let's go to endpoint reference, let's go to posts. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I think the first thing we need to do is we need to talk about the schema. And show how, for example, the title gets the post title. So we can talk about schema. So let me make a note of that. API schema. We want to talk about that and how that's listed. And there are some examples at the bottom. So if you need to list posts, you can do things. You can pass in arguments, you can search, you can include or exclude things. You can also filter, and I did this in the plugin code recently, but I think it's not in the current branch. Yeah, you can filter by fields, title, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to mention that. So let me just see here. No, not that one. That one. Yes, I'm jumping around a little bit today because I just console logged the posts. I just removed that. Okay, so it was a bit of a cleanup. Okay. Get clean up. And this is on the WP REST API branch. So I want to clean up these branches a little bit. I want to make the main branch like the most recent up-to-date code. And then I want to create a zero. Let me go back to the plugin. And the volume down on the music a teeny bit. It's a teeny bit loud. There we go. I'm probably one of the few developers who doesn't like their music loud. Don't know why, I just don't. So I want to make version 1 what is in the code in version 1. So I want to create a branch called version 001, and that's the initial branch, the initial code, and that's the Ajax and blah, blah, blah. Then I want to make release version 2, which is the up-to-date code. And then I want to work on release version 3, and I want to be able to merge each one of those back into main so that you can see the most recent code in the main branch. So I need to create some release version branches quickly. So currently main will be version 1. So let's switch it. Main. Oh, wait. More changes? Didn't I commit those changes? Oh, due to empty commit message. I missed that. Okay. Pretty sure I hit save on that one. Okay, and push. Okay, that's better. And then there we go. And now I want to create a new branch. So I want to check this out to a new branch, let's call it release. 0.0.1. Okay. And then I want to go and push that. So there's a branch for that. Good. And then I want to check out the REST API branch. And I want to create release 0.0.2. Good. Then I can push that. Push origin, release 2. Cool. And then I want to refresh this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to merge I don't want to necessarily create a pull request. No, I can create a pull request. Should be fine. Okay, let's create a pull request. So if I create a pull request, yeah, so 0.1 is in line with that. If there's a way to edit this, no, you can't. Okay, that's fine. So that's that, and then I'm going to go here. No, not going to go there. I'm going to go here. Compare and pull request. That's fine. I shouldn't be able to automatically measure it because I'm expecting some issues. It's fine. Pull request. And then let's resolve the conflicts. Oh, it's the version number. Okay, that's fine. It's that. Happy days. Mark is resolved. Commit merge. Okay. So now we can merge the pull request. Yes. Okay, don't want to delete the branch. So main now includes release version 1 and release version 2, which is perfect. And then I want to delete this REST API branch. So let me go to branches and let me delete that. Good. Okay. So I'm going to use the release branches for creating zip files. And then I'm going to just use the main branches like the main most up-to-date code. And that's all good. Okay, excellent. So now I need to switch back here and go check out and get pull. Okay, and then I'm here and that's all good and that's all working and that's all wonderful. And then I want to create version 3 release. Somebody sending me a message. It's the joys of live streaming. Is this important? Let's have a look. You get to find out live on air whether I just got an important message or not. No, it's not important. It can wait. Okay. Cool. So I've created that release. So that's the release that I'm on. That's the branch that I'm on. That's excellent. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all this jQuery because I don't want to use the jQuery anymore. And if Eric is watching this, he will probably appreciate that. Eric is a open source colleague. He's working on the feature notifications project, picking up some of the work that I did there, and he opened a pull request recently asking me to delete all the jQuery, which I'm happy to do now that here it is, remove jQuery, which I'm more than happy to do now, Eric. Thanks, now that I've got my branches sorted out. And I do agree with Eric. If you're thinking about using jQuery in your plugins, please consider other methods because you don't need to use jQuery anymore. It's still useful. I like using jQuery for prototyping things quickly. If I can't, if I just want to quickly do something, but I tend to prefer to use vanilla JavaScript these days because most of the things that jQuery was useful back in the day, which was accessing elements and iterating over elements in the DOM and moving things around and HX requests and all of that, you can do in using standard browser APIs these days. So there really is no reason to use jQuery anymore other than you're just used to it. But I tend to try and stick with, as you can see here, non-jQuery code because it's just easier, I believe. Anyway, so that's that. We can get rid of that. And then we can also get rid of that button. And we can just change this to load posts. And that's fine. That we're going to leave as WP API because we want to use the backbone API request. I might need to fix that in one of my branches. We don't need the Ajax stuff anymore, so we can take that out completely. We don't need the Ajax handler, so we can take that out completely. I'm going to leave time as it is. But other than that, that's cool. So let's just test this code and see if it still works. Something that I want to do one day is do a session on unit testing. It works. But that requires installing other things, so we'll see. We'll see if I do that. So for now, I'm just working with non-unit testable code, with non-tested code. Okay, cool. Right, so let's commit those changes. Get commit -a, removing jQuery. Eric, this one's for you, buddy. I'm gonna tag him after this and link him to this video. Okay, and then git push origin release 3, and then we should see that code in the branch. Oh, there it is. Excellent. Okay, so we're removing some jQuery. So I'm actually going to make a note about that for my workshop. I'm going to say, let's clean up the jQuery. I'm just randomly making notes as I go along. Okay, so that's that. API schema we can talk about. Maybe we'll talk about this. So let's say, let's do this. Let's go docs reference, the docs we're going to reference in the workshop. And then let's go, good grief. Let's go notes. Let's get the jQuery. Then let's build a form. Now, I tend to keep my forms very simple when I'm doing example code. And I'm actually going to steal a form from another plugin that I've worked on previously here. It's just going to look like this. And I'm going to just pop that in underneath the text area. In fact, let's do this. Let's create a new div and wrap this admin area in it. And then we'll create another div for the form. Okay. So that's there. Okay, so we don't need that. So we're going to go with post title. And we're going to go with post content. And I'm going to keep this very simple. Very, very simple. So we're going to have a text area. We're going to have text. And the ID is going to be post content. And the ID is going to be post title. And the name is going to be... What does the schema say for posts? Probably just title. So let's just use title and content. So let's use that to keep it simple. So it's title. And this is actually discussing, because while the field in the database might be post content, the field available in the REST API is just content or post title. So that's something to discuss. I'm going to mention that in the workshop. Where is that now? Notes, let's build a form. API schema versus DB schema to think about. Okay, I'm not going to go with so many columns. I'll go with, let's say, 100 columns. And there's our submit, and we can remove method. I'm just going to make this a button because I don't want it to submit the form. I mean, I could take the form, could probably take the form element out actually. Yeah, why not? Because I'm not actually going to be posting the form. I'm going to be doing some JavaScript stuff. Okay, so that does that. Let's see what that looks like. Ew, it looks awful. I wonder if the form styling will make it look better. Might just. In which case we'll keep it. No, it doesn't look much better. Okay. So what we can do is I mean, there's a couple of things we could do. We could put the label in a paragraph tag. I don't know if that's considered correct. It's interesting. It only bugs out because of the container. So what we could do to kind of clean things up a little bit. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say add post. And then let's make this div with 75% of the viewport. That might just force the styling to kind of look okay-ish. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's not terrible. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to worry too much about it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to make the post area slightly smaller, just so it all kind of fits nicely on the screen. Yeah, it just looks a little bit better. Okay. So now we can put in a title, and we can put in some content. Not much is going to happen. Let's make that text area a bit smaller. Let's make it 10 rows. That way, now it's gone and done that. Okay, so let's make this 50%. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I just want to see. Yeah, it's fine. It's a cheap hack to make it look slightly aligned. Okay. And if I submit, obviously nothing's going to happen. So now I need to give this post some IDs. So let's go WP learn submit post. WP learn submit post. It's fine. And then we can submit the post. Yeah, that's kind of obvious. I'm going to leave that out. So let's do that. And let's do all of that. This is Codepilot making my life easier. Yes, we want to add a submit button. Yeah, we want to get the title. We want to get the value. That's cool. Wouldn't it be cool if this just worked? I mean, wouldn't that be cool if this just worked? So const post is new API models post. We're creating it with a title and with some content. Done function post, and it's console log the post. Hello. Let's see what that does. So let's say post title, post content. Let's go check out the console. Let's submit. Okay, untaught error. Cannot read properties of null reading value. Okay, so that's going to be something. Wonder if. Okay, so let's get a value of a text error. So let's go do some JavaScript lookups. JavaScript get value of text. jQuery val. Oh, so according to this, it is val value. So I've done something wrong. Oh, that's why, because the titles and IDs and things are wrong. All right. So this is ID and content. I mean, title and content. Title and get element ID content. Something to mention, keeping your IDs. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should make the IDs unique to the form so that, and then we don't need the name fields because we're not posting this data. It's going to mess with people's heads, but it messes with my head anyway. Never thought about that because the name field is what gets posted, I think, if I remember correctly. So post title, post content. Okay, we can close this guy down. And then let's console log the post here. Console log. And let's do an object. And let's say save post object. Save post. Yeah. And then here we can go post save post. Return to post actually. Return to post. There we go. Okay, let's submit that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so post title, post content, submit. Probably don't know. Oh, because I changed this. No, just moved my taskbar across the screen. Okay, post saved. That's cool. So there's our pre-save post. There's the attributes. Comment status open. Oh, that's interesting. So that's useful to mention as well, that it's got sort of all these predefined fields that it sets up if we don't pass them. That's really cool. It's interesting that it gets a UID. That's really cool, I think, anyway. Let's just see if it's still 28. Yeah, post ID 28. So it actually like kind of knows what the possible post ID is going to be based on the last post ID. That's kind of cool. I'm trying to make sure that that's definitely not saving first. So let's go into our post table. And there's post title. Oh, and it saves it as a draft by default. So that's cool. that's some cool stuff we can dig into. We're going to here. So that's interesting. It saves it as a classic post, which we can convert to blocks. It would be interesting to actually do this and see if it works. Okay, so let's refresh the page and let's go new post, new post, new post, and let's add that as post content. Wonder what that'll do. Let's see. That seemed to work fine. So let's go here and let's go new post. Ha 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 ha, that's cool. So it does save it like that. So it picks up that it's storing block content. That's cool. So let's say plain content versus block content. You can play around with that. That's kind of cool. I like it. I like it. Okay, so that's a good example of what we're going to do. I think that's enough code for the workshop. It's enough to dive into anyway. So we can kind of talk over all the steps. The other thing I was thinking of doing is no, it's fine. I'll leave it like that. Note missing here. So once that's happened, then we need to trigger the clearing of the posts and the loading of the posts. So it would be really cool if those functions existed as their own functions. So maybe we could do that as part of the refactor. So we could say function clear posts, and we could say that, and then we could say, as far as I know, this should work. That should work. So let's see if that does work. On 12, it's probably there somewhere. 12. Well, actually, elements on the target print to. Oh, it needs to be an object. Okay. How would I? Okay, let's just go and read the docs. There must be a way that you can probably have to specify the function as an object. Oh, it's just, yeah, see, it's function modify text, and then you just pass in, okay. So I just pass in the name like that. Okay, learned something new today. Happy days, load posts, clear posts. Okay, that worked, cool. So then let's also create a function to load post. And then grab all of this code up here. Yeah, and then make this smaller. Right. And then we can do the same thing here. So we can say function submit post. And I should probably make a comment about the fact that these functions are now globally available. I might just mention that. And then this becomes submit post. Okay. Now, why did I want to do that? Oh, yes, because here I want to go submit post, and then I want to clear posts, and then I want to load posts. That should work. So let's see. Okay. So let's load posts. Okay, there's all our posts. Oh, this is only loading published posts. So let's go back here and publish this one. Go back here. Publish this one. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so there's our new post. So now we go, oh, this one's not going to be published. So we also need to do that. So I think it's status. Status string one of publish. So we're going to pass in the status of publish. So in the submit post, status publish. Okay, that'll fix that problem. And then if we go back here and we refresh, and we go a new published post, and we'll just stick some, let's just convert this to blocks, and then grab this code, and then new published post content. Okay, and now if we submit that, it should refresh everything. Yay! Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to clear posts and load posts after the post has been saved. So there. Okay. I should just do it. Yeah, that's fine. And we should probably change clear posts to clear fields because we've got some fields to clean up. So we can do that after this. Okay, let me just grab this out. And we didn't get our new published post, did we? No, it is published. Oh, because those things triggered before. That's why. Okay, another published. So it might be worth to actually do it that way. Show the, the fact that it fired. The alert still happened, but then the request was still happening. So it had to, yeah, it's worth doing. Okay, and then if we go okay, then it does everything we need to. That's freaking cool. Okay, so let's do one last thing. And let's call this clear fields. And then we could do this in multiple ways, but I'm just going to do it manually for each one. So I'm going to do const text and post title, text title, const text content and content. And I wonder if you can just do value equals that. I should be able to do that. Let's do that. Get the element, clear the value. Definitely should be able to do that. And then clear fields and load posts. Yes. Okay, so let's do it one more time. Yet another new post. Actually, let's load these. Clear post is not defined. Clear fields. Where have I still got clear posts? Oh, there. Load post, all good. Yet another new post. It's another publish post content. But yay, yay, yeah. There we go. Single page application inside the WordPress dashboard. But yeah, it's not submitting anything. It's using the REST API. Super fast, I believe, at least. So yeah, that's what can be done. Obviously, this would look cooler if it was a lot prettier, but that is what is possible with the REST API. So I think that's a good place to stop. If I have time, I will show folks how to do this in Postman. But I'm not going to do that now because I need to set up authentication things and cookie things, and it's a bit of a wonky mission, but I'll try and get that tested before I get there, so I have the request set up. And then what I might also do is I would probably like to show folks the request and REST API. Yeah, REST API. Show folks the REST server class, the REST request class, and basically just talk about what it does. I wonder if there is documentation. Yeah, there it is. No. Let's just go to documentation. See if there's something in here about the REST request. There you see there's a section on requests, which might be a good idea to kind of covered this. Not going to worry too much about it. Section responses as well. We'll talk about that when we dive into extending it. For now, I think interacting with it and creating a post, I think is pretty cool. Using the backbone JS, and then we can talk about extending, modifying responses, adding custom endpoints, custom content types, schema, all of this stuff. So it'll be a good idea to cover the post schema, definitely, so we can kind of talk about it and understand what it does. But I think that covers everything that I wanted to. So it'll be more of a coding heavy session. The nice thing is that we're working mostly in JavaScript, because the only HTML we'll be adding will be this. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that progress. So I'm going to commit this code for now. I might tweak it a little bit. Where we get status. Yeah, run version 3. So let's commit this. Adding post creation functionality. I probably should have committed each step, but I couldn't be asked. When I write the script up for this, I'll break it down again. Let's go yes, and let's go commit, and let's go get push origin release 03. Yes, happy days. And that's my bit for today. It's a little bit quicker than I expected. It was a little bit easier thanks to Copilot. That was kind of cool. Copilot wrote a bunch of this code for me, which was really handy. I didn't know about the fact that you can call value like that on a document. I should have known, but I didn't. I like the fact that this was created for me. So maybe what we should do is we should find an example for creating a post. Does the Backbone.js client have an example for creating a post? To create a post, here we go. Post new, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. So let's use the model examples to create the post. Got that. Let's just have a look at that. So it's basically var post equals new post, post save. What have we done? Post save done, same as previously. Post save, that's cool. Always got that done, so once it's finished, done, media done. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that's perfect. We can return the post, which we've done. Put it up here, so that's cool. So we can use that same on post fetch, done, save, done, perfect. This, I like the fact that you can set up the new post. Might be cool to log that. Yeah, do that logging and show what's in that data. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to save this. And I'm going to call that a day. 10 minutes earlier than I usually plan, but I'm happy with the progress. Some days are longer, some days are shorter. So if you've enjoyed this, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been interesting to anybody. Otherwise, I'll be here again next week. Next week, I plan on extending the WordPress REST API. If you want to watch the more formalized, planned, with slides version of this, you can go to meetup.com/WordPress Social Learning or Learn WordPress Online Workshops, or you can search for Learn WordPress Online Workshops, and all the events are listed there. And my next event is the Selects Code session on Thursday at 4 p.m. South African time, where we will be showcasing everything we just did in this last hour. And then that will be uploaded to WordPress TV if you want to see that version. Okay, that's my bit for today, folks. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for hanging out while I mumble along through my code and am amazed by what Copilot can do. Have a great Tuesday, and I will see you next week.